Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel. We are here for SLR F2 round 2 here at Spa. If you didn't join us last week for round 1 at Australia, make sure to go check that video out before you see this one. Bringing up the championship standings after the first round then, here they are. We got 30 points, the most points out of the opening round. Pluto closely behind on 26 and Amion Curry rounding out the top 3 on 22 points. But it was a very good round from AIX as we are now trailing them by 11 points in the teams championship. We're going to be hoping to close that gap, if not take the lead here at Spa, which is a very good track for me. As you can see from last season, we took the feature race victory. We're going to be looking to try and get another one here in season 13. Heading into our one-shot qualifying lap then, here it is, one shot, one opportunity. Last season's pole was a 1 minute 54.2. Can we beat that here today? Hard on the brakes into turn 1, slam it to the right. You can see it's pretty much full lock there, out of the exit, good on the power, and here we go downhill, heading towards Eau Rouge Radion, which is going to be flat out just about in these cars as we go uphill now. Little downshift to 5th gear to keep the revs up. You can see us plot back into first place. Now I'm going to get the first DRS zone out of the way, and the end of the first sector as well. We're going to have that sector split pop up any second now, and it is a 34.220. That is not too bad at all. We've gone a little bit deep into the chicane, but it's not going to hamper us too much. You can see Pluto has now gone to the top. Can we get back ahead of him? Decent little exit there out of Malmedy, downhill towards the hairpin we go now. Sling it in, 2nd gear, early on the power, very good exit. Into the left-hander, no now, downshift to 3rd gear, on the power early, very nicely done. Could have used a bit more curb on exit, but we're taking it very, very easy on this qualifying lap. Through Poo on we go, hold it in 5th gear, nicely done. Didn't really want to go much wider there because track limits are very brutal around here. You can see some people retiring. That means they are invalidating their lap times. They are going over track limits through the pith path chicane, down to 3rd gear. Car feeling like it's want to twitch out, but we get the power down very nicely. That is the 2nd sector done with, down to 3rd gear. And it is a 122 there in the middle sector, and we are still purple. Can we get back-to-back pole positions here in season 13 of SLR F2? It's been a very, very good lap so far. Can we beat the last season's pole of a 1 minute 54.2? It'd be very good if we can. We've got one more set of corners to go. It is the bus stop chicane. Hard on the brakes now, down to 2nd gear. Lift off the brakes a bit so we don't lock up. A little bit of a slide mid-corner, but it's all okay. Very snappy on exit. Short DRS all the way up to the line, and it is a 1 minute 53.7, and we have beaten last season's pole. And a very good lap there to take pole position. The only man in the 153s. We are 3/10 clear of LSJ Rundle and Pluto, who making AIX 2 and 3 on the grid. That'll be for the feature race though. We reverse the top 10 for the sprint race coming up now. Here we go then for the sprint race. You can see we've got a little bit of rain on circuit, so it's going to be a bit greasy out there, but let's see how we get on. It is lights out and away we go for the sprint race. 9-lap sprint race here at Spa. With how long the circuit is, a little bit of a shaky site. You can see me kind of teetering at the wheel, but we've managed to get it under control. Into turn 1 we go now, last source. We keep it clean. Round the outside, we're right behind the 2 AIX racing cars. They're the 2 cars we're going to be racing here. Yellow flag with a little bit of chaos that's going on behind, but we've managed to get through unscathed. Heading up Eau Rouge Radion now for the first time. Can we make a move? We get closer to the back of Pluto, but we can't make the move. The car tries to go from underneath us up the hill. We've got Willy Bum right behind us in the road, and he's now alongside us. We're not going to cut him off because we're getting a monumental crash. Heading towards the chicane we go now. Can we make a move on Pluto? We're not going to be close enough, but we're going to try and defend Willy Bum. We've had a bit of contact from behind. I'm not sure who that was from, but luckily we've got away with no damage there and without any track limit warnings, so we do carry on. Heading towards the end of lap 1 then, we managed to keep it unscathed. We're on the back of both LAX cars now. LSJ Rundle round the outside. We're going to turn to the inside line now towards the final corner. We keep it clean. We try and keep it there. Pluto's gone very wide out the final corner. This is carnage at the start of the 2nd lap here at Spa. Heading down towards turn 1 now, La Source. We look to the outside line of LSJ Rundle. Can we get the move done? DRS is now enabled, so we are going to get DRS later on this lap. We managed to get past LSJ Rundle, and his teammate Pluto has gotten a bit of a scare as well at turn 1 because he's disappeared, and we are now up into 8th place. We're now chasing after some more points. We're into the points paying positions because it's only the top 8 that get points in the sprint race. Race roll, you can see, has gone very wide at the top of Eau Rouge Radion. We're now going to have DRS on the Campos. Can we make the move? Heading towards the chicane. It's going to be a great move if we can pull it off, but I don't think we're going to be close enough. No, hard on the brakes. Race Roller brakes latest, and he holds on to that position for now, but you can see he's gone deep again. We're trying to push him through Malmedy we go, but we're going to hold on to that 8th place. Not close enough to go for a move just yet. You can see have a bit of a jink to the inside, but there is no gap there to go for the move. But Race Roller once again going deep. Can we get our nose up the inside? We're a little bit on the grass, but he's done enough to hold on to that P7 provisionally then. But going through No Name, you can see how close we are to the back of Roller, both of us losing the back end because of these greasy conditions on track. Heading towards Piron now. We brake a little bit later. We get very close, but the dirty air in these cars still very effective when you're following a car this close. But this battle isn't over just yet then. Heading towards Blanchimont, some of the fastest corners on the circuit. Can we make the move on Race Roller? It would be a very bold move if we can. Heading towards the outside, there's not quite a gap there. We're going to try and find a gap though. We do the up and under. We're now heading towards the outside line of the bus stop chicane. Can we pull this one off? Race Roller brakes latest, but I think he's going to go a little bit too deep. We try and do the up and under again. Through the final corner we go. We're going to have the outside line, and we're going to have a little bit of DRS heading down towards turn 1 now, starting lap 3 of 9 in this race, a third of the way through already with how quick this sprint race is. We've got LSJ Rundle looking up our inside at turn 1 here. He can't make the move work though in the AIX. He's trying to get that position back that we got past him a few laps ago, but we're going to hold on to 8th place, and we are closing up to the back of Race Roller again now. Rundle's still there on our right hand side heading uphill, but we get the move completed. We're going to hold on to 8th for now, but Race Roller is going to be very much under threat. Not the best of exits up Radion. And now with DRS, with the slipstream, Race Roller goes defensive. We're going to go to the outside line now of the chicane, and we are going to get the move completed on the former champion, and up into 7th place we go. Provisionally, that is 2 points heading to us from this sprint race, but still a long, long way to go.
Up to I mean, I didn't necessarily want to, but it just kind of happened.
As you could hear my past self saying, I didn't actually intend to go for that move, but it kind of just opened up. I think we just broke a little bit later than Goggy, and it just opened up. We're trying to go around the outside now at turn 1, but it doesn't quite pay off. We are going to have a lovely slipstream though, going down the hill and heading towards Eau Rouge Radion. Can we get the move done before the hill? I think the best move is going to be to wait until the DRS zone. That's where we've made the majority of the overtakes so far, and you'll see that a little bit later on as well. We stick right on the back of the ART, and here comes Race Roller as well behind us. Both of us with DRS, Goggy with DRS to try and defend us as well. Heading towards the chicane we go. Who's going to get the position? This is for 6th place, going around the outside. We're going to be a little bit under threat to maybe be pushed off here. We get to the apex first, and we get ahead of both of them. Very lovely move there, and Roller having a lovely little ding dong there with Goggy. Zooming forward though to the start of lap 7, where we are on the back of Gogglesaw. This is for P5 now, the first of the Trident cars, and it could just be another move with DRS heading towards the chicane, but we've got Eau Rouge Radion to deal with first. We're closing up right to the back towards the rear diffuser of Gogglesaw. Can we make our way through? We're going to have DRS, we're going to have the slipstream. We pull to the outside line, and that DRS assistance is going to push us ahead of Gogglesaw up into 5th place now. We're going to now go chasing after his teammate TJ Griffiths. That is for 4th place, and maybe we could be on for a podium. Penultimate lap of the race then, we are now on the back of 4th place. It is now Top G because Griffiths has made his way into a podium position. Are we going to look to the inside of the bus stop chicane? Yes we are, late on the brakes, little bit of wheel banging there with Top G, but we both managed to get through. He gets his nose back ahead. We're both going to have DRS now, heading down towards turn 1. You can see he's going to get a little bit of a slipstream from Griffiths, but who's going to get the position into turn 1 then? We're going to have the inside line, the predominant line into turn 1, a little bit of understeer as we get on the curve. We're still side by side now, heading downhill. We're going to be heading uphill there in a minute towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Who's going to have that 4th position when we go up the hill? Is it going to be us? Is it going to be Top G? The invictor of ourselves gets our way through up into 4th place now. But now the key ahead is going to be TJ Griffiths. We're going to have DRS. We're going to have the slipstream. Can we make the overtake into the chicane? It will be from a very long way back if we can, but we're not, unfortunately. We're going to stay in 4th place, but Race Roller is having a lovely ding-dong battle with Top G behind, while we're having our battle with Griffiths for 3rd place on the final lap. Can we get it? Heading towards the bus stop chicane, the final set of corners in this sprint race, looking to add another podium to our tally. We're looking to the outside line, which is going to turn to the inside line now for the penultimate corner. Who's going to be late on the brakes? We are, but the car's going to be a little bit unstable under brake, and Griffiths tries to send it back up the inside. There's contact between the two of us. We head off the track, and Griffiths is going to get his way through. He's going to get the podium. We're going to get the time penalty for track limits, unfortunately, and that is going to drop us all the way back down to P7, unfortunately. This is going to cost us quite a few points in the end. Taking a look at the final classification then, big congratulations to Easy Game 06 on his first ever SLRF2 race victory. SLR Medal returns to the podium, and TJ Griffiths, as we saw, kept on to that podium in the end. We did try and fight that instant very hard. Unfortunately, we ran out of luck in the end, and we do drop down to P7. But yeah, on to the feature race. Hopefully, we can get some more big points in that one. And as you can see by the weather radar at the top of the screen, we are going to get rain later on in this feature race, so it's going to make it even more spicy. But we had a taste of wet weather in the sprint race. How are we going to cope in the feature race? All 5 lights are on, and we are away. Much better than what we were in the sprint race, and a very good launch indeed. Both of the AIX cars are battling down into turn 1. We're going to try and hold on to the lead of this race, slap it to the right, easily done. Little slide on exit, but not too bad. Pluto is all over the back of us now, heading towards the hill. It's going to be key that we defend this move, because if it gets to the rain later on, we saw how hard it was to overtake in the wet. We got a very silly track limit warning there, which is not good at all for later on in our race. But Pluto is all over the back of us here, heading towards the chicane now. He pulls out of our slipstream. Of course, no DRS on the opening lap of the race. We hold our line and just pray and hope he doesn't send it down the inside. We go into the braking zone now. He keeps a wheel in there, but we get to the apex burst and we remain ahead on the opening lap of this feature race. He's trying to hold it around the outside, but we are going to close that door, and we retain the lead of the feature race, crucially, because this rain is only right round the corner. You can see us putting the request for the weather, and the engineer does not have that at the moment, and normally that suggests we are a lap or two away from wet weather conditions. And as you can see on the screen now, it has started raining. DRS is enabled, however. We put the anchors on into turn 1, get it right-handed, and here we go, back down the straight again. You can see the rain falling down the visor, but the key thing here is to just keep Pluto behind. That's all we need to do. We saw how hard it was to overtake in the sprint race with the dirty air, and we just need to play that same game again here in the feature race, and we might have a back-to-back feature race win here in season 13. We go midway down the Kemmel Straight at the moment. We're heading towards the chicane. We've just about got enough of a gap to Pluto here to hold him behind us for a little while longer. We've turned it a little too early there. That's a second track limit warning in only 2 laps in of this feature race. One more and we get a 3-second time penalty, so we've got to drive cautious now all the way to the end of this race.
It is very wet at Eau Rouge. This is very wet.
And as you heard me say, the track is a lot more wetter out there, and it has just popped up on the screen telling us to come in at the end of this lap. And you can see how much trickier it is out there, just getting it into the corner, getting the power down. Can't put it down as early as we used to. We skip a bit further into the lap now, going into the Fanya chicane. You can just see understeering like a boat out there. That's all it is, a boat on wheels. And you've just got to pray and hope you can get it to the end of the lap. You can see it sliding out of the Fanya chicane, slamming it in to the end of the middle sector, and it's just not having it whatsoever, only just about to keep it flat at Stabilo 2. DRS is now disabled, and that is normally the key take of when it's time to get on the wet compound tyres. Of course, we've got no intermediates in F2, it's either dry or wet, and in this instance we need to get straight onto those wet compound tyres now. We're about to finish the lap, and we've got to get it stopped for this bus stop chicane. We can't be going straight on, we can't make any errors, or else we are going to lose the race lead to Pluto. We have a little bit of understeer, but we get it into the pit lane, nearly hitting the bollard on the left hand side, but we get it into the pit lane, and now the key thing is get it slowed down at the back end. Once again, not complying. As we get the power down, we turn into the pit box now perfectly, and luckily we survived that in lap, and I think that was one of the biggest scares we're going to have all season long, getting it into the pit lane in those conditions on the slick compound tyres. We get the wets on, and here we go, a 10-lap sprint to the end on these wet compound tyres. How are we going to get on? And a quick message from our race engineer suggests with this rain it's only going to get worse for at least the next 10 minutes. We're going to have heavy rain probably to the end of this race, at least for the next 5 laps, as it's around a 2-minute lap, if not more, around here in these conditions. But yeah, it's very much just keeping it on the island at the moment and crucially keeping it ahead of Pluto as we extend the gap a little bit more now as we go through the fan chicane. It is over a second, and that is the key thing I want to keep doing. Keep it over a second, and that's kind of the safe barrier you want to have. Even though we're not going to have DRS in these conditions, you feel a lot more comfortable when you see that 1 second advantage you've got. Speaking of time and gaps, look at the time and tail on the left hand side. We've got two cars who opted to stay out for an extra lap. F1 AB Quirty, who leads the race on the mediums, and former champion Race Roller, who we were battling in the previous race, and we are going to start to close up. There is a yellow flag ahead, and it's Race Roller who has gone off in the conditions. He is aquaplaned off, and we are going to catch him probably at the worst possible time into the bus stop chicane. He's going to be sliding everywhere. Luckily, he has peeled off into the pit lane, as well as F1 AB Quirty. That releases us back into the lead of this race now. About halfway in, we have got an almighty challenge now to keep it on the island all the way to the checkered flag, because Pluto is going to be pushing us every step of the way. Starting lap 9 now, Pluto is not letting us get away. We've had a pretty poor lap 8. That has meant he's been able to catch up as we go through turn 1 of La Source now. It's not the best entry, and it's definitely not the best exit from us at all. You can see he's got a pretty good run. He's got that gap down to below 0.3 of a second. He could be in fighting range here come the end of the Kemmel Straight, but he is going to get the dirty air going up Eau Rouge and Radion. That's going to put him off, and you can see we've slid a little bit there, but he's had a huge slide out the exit of Radion. That means he's going to lose more time. The gap is going to go back over 0.3 of a second, and we are going to be safe from any attack from Pluto for at least a lap at least, but we are going to have 4 laps to go when we cross the line. Bit of a quiet last few laps, but onto the final lap we go then. This is where it could be won or lost. We have not had the best run up the hill at all. Pluto, not affected by dirty air, and has got the perfect run up the hill. We're going to be under a lot of pressure here going into the chicane. Can he be close enough to make the move? As we go towards the end of the Kemmel Straight, we just about remain ahead. He has a little look up the inside, but that's more just to put us off if anything. And going through the chicane we go. Pluto is looking like he really is going to take the race win here from us, but we've got to keep it on the island. It's very, very snappy through Malmedy, but we keep it in a straight line crucially. Going into the hairpin we go, chucking it in, but the car having absolutely none of it. You can see a little bit of a dry line, which we're trying to stick to, but even on that, the car is just having absolutely none of it. Through No Name we go. He's been affected by dirty air, and Pluto with a really poor exit might be just what we need to stop an attack from him. With only half a lap to go now, we've done all the hard work for the past 12.5 laps. Half a lap to go, and we might be getting the 26 points for this race victory. 25 for the win, and the 1 point for the fastest lap as well would sling us even further ahead in the Drivers' Championship, would put Invicta ahead of AIX in the Constructors' Championship, but we've got to hold on.
Come on, let's go. Oh, that was such a struggle. Yes. Oh my days. Mate, Pluto maybe went really hard for that. After being on 2 warnings after like lap 2, well, start of lap 2, that was so much pressure. Wow.
It was so close in the end with Pluto, but that mistake at the end might have just cost him. We take the race victory here in Spa in the feature race. 26 points we get from the feature race, and of course that P7 finish in the sprint gets us some very nice points indeed. Looking at the feature race results then, of course, we take the win in the fastest lap. Pluto in P2. Easy game. What a weekend from him. A sprint race victory and a 3rd place in the feature race is a very good weekend for him. LSJ Rundle, the other AIX, is down in P10 respectively, so we do take the lead in the Constructors' Championship. Big thank you to everyone who's tuned along to this video. I very much appreciate it. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe. Any interaction very much appreciated. If you'd like to see these races live, make sure to hop over to the link in the description. That'll be to my Twitch channel, where we stream these races Thursday evenings at 8 PM with the dates shown on screen. Round 3 is coming up next at Zandvoort on the 29th of January. Hope to see some of you there. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.